Hi guys, this is AJ and this is Ryan, and for the first time I finally gave in and I'm teaching him how to can. And instead of jumping right in and using the pressure cooker, even though you see my big pressure cooker back here, I've taken out my little rubber stopper and thank you, and taken off my little valve, the dial thingy. For my pressure cooker, because I have the Presto, I won't need my jiggler. And I removed the little gauge and the little stopper. We already have our canner with plenty of water in it, and it's already coming up to a good little bubble there. And in our pot, what are you doing, Sully? In our pot, we already have all of the juice that we need. And I have our sugar measured out, and we have our pectin ready to go. Now, Ryan, it is time to put in the pectin for me. We've been working on some of this stuff for a while, so while he's behind me, be real careful, baby. You might want to get a little knife and open that up so you don't spill it. While he's back there, I'll tell you what we did.
Will you use this one?
That's fine, baby. My handmade knife?
Yeah.
You be careful. I'll let you know what we did. I have my recipe that I got off of the internet between Bear and Cat, and I talk to 152 Jeep all the time. That man can anything. I pulled all this together, found a recipe that I liked, got it off. I've tried it already. I used it, and I thought, because it was the first time I've done jelly, that I could use liquid pectin. That's a no-no. It didn't work. So I tried it again, got better at it, got my dry pectin, and actually,
Both packets?
yes honey, both. Actually, I have a cheap version of the stuff that you get at Walmart. I got this at Save-A-Lot, and it's only 99 cents a box, which really beats that $3 box. So we're using 2 of these, and that's what Ryan's putting in right now. Let me get you a spoon out of my little bag of tricks over here. And you can stir that in a little bit. We'll just set this aside. And before we started, besides our recipe, which I've already went over with Ryan.
Butter.
Yeah, it does. He says it looks like butter. But I already went over the recipe. I also went ahead and we read the instructions to see how close they collaborated with what was in the box. So we had 2 versions of the story. Then I went and got my Ball Blue Book, never can without it, and looked through here and found their version of how to water bath can and how to do jams and jellies. And we had a 3rd version. I also keep, whenever I'm getting ready to can, my pressure canner book, and I reread whatever it is that I think I need to do so that we were already prepared and we know where we're going with it. And basically, I'm just telling you all this to kind of fill time as our jelly kind of comes up to temp a little bit here, so you're not too bored. And I hope
boiling.
I hope. Yep, it's going to be a little bit better than that way. You got to make sure this is all mixed in. You're doing good though. And any little floaters that are in there, you just go ahead and smash those up against the side to make sure they're good and worked in. And keep going. It needs to boil harder than, a little harder than that. That's just kind of a little pop every once in a while. So we have all this down, and we've been talking about this, like I said, for a good bit. We've sterilized all of our surfaces that we use. We have our jars in the oven, because you don't want to pour hot liquid into cold jars. You'll crack them. And even if you do that and you don't know that you've cracked your jars, you'll know when you pull them out of the canner and there's jelly everywhere. So don't do it. I haven't made that mistake yet, but I learned from people who have. And that's pretty much the key of all of this. You just have to learn from everybody that you see, take what you can and what you need. The rest of it you can throw away. How are we doing now, bub?
Pretty good.
Alright. Better boil there and we're almost ready. Once this boils, we're going to just add our sugar, which, believe it or not, where's my recipe here? There are 9 cups of sugar going into this little bit of jelly. I doubled my recipe, and we have 7 cups of juice, which we used from canned juice.
6 cups of sugar.
No, 9. 9 cups of sugar, because this recipe called for 4.5. Remember when we doubled that one, didn't we? And then we're using 2 of our packets of pectin, which Ryan's already added to the juice. Oh, that's looking better. Stand over here and then they can see what you're doing. I like to keep stirring until all the little ickies are out of there, because the pectin kind of clumps at first a little bit until it gets nice and hot and all worked in.
Should have sprinkled it instead of pouring it all in one spot.
That's alright, you're learning. You can do that next time, because now you know.
Yep.
But it'll work in there just fine that way. Don't worry, I'll probably edit out all this standing around that I'm doing, waiting for it to come up to a boil.
Well, you mean you've probably already edited it out?
Yeah, actually, you'll never know that, huh? Okay, look there, bud. Do you see how the bubbles are going clear across the pot like that? Now that's a boil.
And that's collecting over there like it's...
That's what you want.
I'm not ready.
Okay, now we're ready to add the sugar. So if you want to slowly put it in, I will stir. But don't let it splash you. Gotta do it slowly. There you go. Don't let it come back and get you. This is really hot.
This is a must slide dividing sugar.
The sugar slide. Since the hillbilly was back there giving me hand gestures and asking if you want to come on over here and look at this, I told him to go ahead and bring the camera, and you can see our juice and our pectin's already in there. We just added 9 cups of sugar, which seems like a whole lot. And as soon as we bring this back up to a boil and let it boil for about 2 minutes, then we'll be ready to, yes, a hard boil for 2 minutes. Thank you, baby.
Like an egg.
Then we'll be ready to get our jars out of the oven, pour our juice into our jars, wipe off our rims, and stick them in a canner.
We probably have to go with the tools.
That's a good idea. We can do that.
While that's boiling.
Well, we use all of those tools when we are either pouring stuff into jars, which we're going to show them as we do it, or when we're pulling stuff out. And this tool, where did it go? There it is.
I said looks like a staircase.
This tool, we probably really won't need much this time, except if you want to measure our rim from our juice, because this is to get air out, and this is liquid, so there won't be any air. This is for our lids, which we've already got our lids ready to go.
Like a stamper?
Picks it up.
Like a magnet.
Like that.
Magnet.
We've got our lids all ready to go, so we don't have to worry about that this time either. And the other thing is just used when we pick the jars up out of the hot water, because you definitely won't want your hands anywhere near it.
Is this what you use to pick up the cans?
Jars.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and put the sugar bowl in the sink for me? Because that's where, on this towel, is where we're going to sit our hot pan that has our jars in it. We don't want to sit it right down on the counter. And since you were in here all that time and we were getting all this stuff ready, what did we do with everything that we had as we were making stuff? The strainers and the bowls.
Clean it up.
Cleaned it up as we went. Because when I'm done standing in here for 15 or 20 minutes waiting on all this stuff to get done, I'm going to want to go sit down and talk to everybody on Skype. I'm not going to want to clean the kitchen, so. If you do everything right,
as we go.
If you do everything right and you clean as you go, then you don't have a big mess at the end. And you really, a lot of times, won't have to keep stirring quite as much as I am. Stirring a little bit more because I had some sugar stored just in the paper bag. And it was a little clumpy. So I'm going to make sure that it's all worked in really well.
Clumpy, it's like a brick. You had to stand here and beat it off the floor.
Yep, Mommy beat the sugar. Bad sugar, bad sugar. What did we do with the fruit that came out of the cans?
Dehydrated.
It's already in the dehydrator. We got very large jars of peaches. We used 4 large jars of peaches and
that big around.
Really big, and a small jar of fruit cocktail, just to get the measurement that I wanted.
Were them big peach cans smaller than number 10 cans?
Oh yes, much.
Like 3 times?
Probably about. That's probably a good guesstimation.
Here.